Goofy. Got back scratch, Max scratch. Max.
Okay, Steve, we're gonna roll. Just a second here.
Come on up, Fatso. Okay, Fatso.
Okay, we'll try that again.
Yes, sir. Whoa, whoa.
Wrong camera.
Oh, okay. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Put on the brakes, put on the brakes. Welcome, welcome, boys and girls, children of all ages, hoofties, poofties, bung-eyed efforts, right and left wing wackos, woodchucks and chuckettes, kings and queens of the Northeast Kingdom, and little dogs too, to another version of It's News to Us. Okay, get down, Squirmy. Go do something camera-worthy. You were just doing good, scratching and sniffing. Stay away from, what, no.
Now that's funny.
You're not hiding in there. You're not fooling anybody. He's gone. He's gone. It's just mental dogs. Two stupid dogs rolled into one.
Okay.
Anyways, you are watching It's News to Us. We're Newport's oldest TV news watchers. New brown Q. We got adult themes and adult language, so you're advised, but not really. We cater to men, women, hamana. Yeah, we're all invited here. Defund the police? No, defend them, man. They got a crappy job. It's a crappy job, and they don't get paid enough. But we're in the broad stage invincible sky guard. He's going to beat you and forgive you, and beat you and forgive you. And we're going to leave this one up. This is the website, just so everybody knows, okay? I'm not against vaccines or anything, but if you go to fda.gov/media/ the number there, and downloads, and you'll see the side effects of this vaccine that they're should be offloading pretty soon, I guess, maybe next week or something like that, Philo?
I heard next week Vermont's supposed to get 6,000 doses of it. I hate to be the guy that gets all 6,000 doses.
Yeah, that'd hurt.
Well,
Feel like a pincushion. Get out of there. Get out of there. I mean, 6,000 doses for 600,000 people. I would think the first responders and people who deal with people are the sickest people. They'd be the ones to be first in line to get it, of course. And I don't want to scare anyone, but I don't want to scare anybody. You're not hiding. You're not fooling anyone. We can still see you. Crazy dog.
okay, back to the show.
Yeah, don't you dare tear down any. If you ruin that thing, man, we're in big trouble. I'm in big trouble. You don't get to do a squat. Anyways, there are 22 listed side effects, subject to change at any time, of course. Guillain-Barré syndrome, which coincidentally, Philo, that's the one that most people got from the swine flu. Remember back in '76?
Yep, I do remember that one. That was Gerald Ford's
Baby.
disease, yeah.
Yeah, his favorite, oh man, Jerry Ford. Like Hubert Humphrey said, Jerry played football too long without a helmet. Okay, and then we have acute disseminated encephalomyelitis. Okay.
Try to say that again.
Yeah, twice, fast. Transverse myelitis, encephalitis, myelitis, encephalomyelitis, meningoencephalitis, meningitis encephalopathy, convulsions and seizures, stroke, narcolepsy and cataplexy, anaphylaxis. Anaphylaxis, isn't that, Philo, when you, let's say like you got bee stung or something and you're allergic, you go into anaphylactic shock?
I think that's what it means, yes.
Yeah, it's a bodily rejection of something or other. I'm not a doctor, but I do play one on TV every week right here. Yes, that's me.
It's funny, our doctor here in Vermont doesn't even know what the test cycles are, but I can tell him exactly what it is.
I'll get into that in a minute. We're going to have fun with that one, huh, Philo?
Yep.
Okay. anaphylaxis, acute myocardial infarction. Myocardial infarction, that's like a heart attack, right?
It's a hard attack.
Heart attack. if you're from Boston.
There was a guy I used to work with. He said he got scared so bad he almost had a hard attack.
Heart attack, yeah.
It's
yeah.
like I tried that once. It was too crunchy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we used to eat that in the Civil War.
Yep. Another guy used to be in the Silver War.
It's the Civil War.
He used to throw silver at each other.
Yeah, with the Civil War. They made off with the silver, all right. All right. Acute myocardial infarction, myocarditis, pericarditis, myo and peri. I should have looked that up. Myo means big, peri means small, I think, something like that.
I don't know. Could be.
Autoimmune disease. Oh, and here's my favorite, deaths.
Ooh.
Deaths, okay. Pregnancy and birth outcomes. Other acute demi-eliminating diseases, demi-eliminating diseases, non-anaphylactic allergic reactions, thrombocytopenia. That sounds familiar too. Thrombocytopenia, that's like clogged arteries, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. A disseminated intravascular coagulation, venous thromboembolism. Embolism again means blood clots, as I think. Arthritis and arthralgia. Okay. Joint pain. Oh, here's my favorite. Kawasaki disease.
Goodness, what the hell is that?
I don't know, man, but I'll tell you what. I got Kawasaki disease when I smashed up my 71 H2 Kawasaki in San Diego. I squished my foot right between the motor and this guy's fender, and I've been limping ever since. That was in 1981, Philo.
There was a guy at the shop, he had a picture of a cow with a bunch of socks on. He called it a Kawasaki.
That'd work, yeah. Hard to keep them on, though, especially in the winter. Okay. Multi-system inflammatory syndrome in children. And, last but not least, of the 22, vaccine-enhanced disease. Okay. And yesterday, as Philo had mentioned, I got to question the good doctor.
He isn't really a doctor. He just plays one on the radio.
Oh, God almighty. He really, he may say he's a doctor, but I think he's more in league with Fred Astaire, Philo.
Fred Astaire?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I don't know who that's insulting to.
This guy can dance up a storm when he wants to. And they put me on next to last, as usual, as always. For some reason, I don't know, they don't like me. I'm always polite. Okay. I mean, always I say please and thank you, you know. And the first question I got was for the head of the Vermont Department of Safety about the OK Corral shootout we had here in Newport last week, which was witnessed by somebody I know at the pharmacy, Philo.
Wow.
Yeah, said it was pretty hairy. These guys had like no regard for, anybody in the area. It was just yee-haw, shoot 'em up, man. And people were running for cover and yoo-hoo. So anyways, I asked them, I said, these fine gentlemen who came up from Connecticut, I said, what with our cell phone tracking and stuff like that, and if we know these guys, these gentlemen, these lovely, wonderful gentlemen who said they were coming to Vermont to make some money, and Philo and I were joking about it last week, maybe they had come to run a foliage tour or something like that.
Yeah,
Roofing, siding, make some money, right?
Plow the roads.
Plow the there's not enough to plow out there, I'll tell you, but it is slippery as a friggin' banana peel. I'm sorry I'm late, Terry. Jeez Louise, I figured the roads would be clear. I mean, I know we don't have a clear roads policy in Vermont, but holy moly, it's hovering right around 30 degrees. And they've got sand and salt, but it is still, I've got studded snows, and it's still a little hairy, if you know what I mean, you know? And of course, I'm doing like 40 on the way in because I don't want to push it, right? And I got some guy right on my bumper in this big old jacked up truck, brand new jacked up truck, excuse me.
That's all they have is big jacked up trucks.
Yeah, and he's in this big jacked up truck. And this is the weirdest thing, Philo. They have, in the booth, we have Philo T. Farnsworth, the College of Musical Knowledge. This guy knows the most obscure rock and roll stuff of anyone I've ever known.
And over on the left screen, we have Mac's butt.
Yeah, Butt Mac. And so anyways, it looks like the paint job's coming from the factory. It looks like the truck has already been splashed with mud, Philo.
Wow.
It was a black truck, yet it had splotches on it of paint to simulate mud.
How clever is that?
So in case you never ever take the thing off road, right?
Right.
It looks like you did.
Jeez.
Yeah, go figure. So anyways, what's this got to do with the shootout? I don't know. Who knows where I'm going with this one?
We don't care. We just want to go somewhere.
Yeah, just get in the back and shut up. I'll pull over right now. And so I said, well, cell phone tracking and all this other stuff, couldn't we, and if we know these wonderful gentlemen are like, I'm sure they have prior records, and maybe, they're known crack dealers in Connecticut, where they had come from before they came to Vermont to make money. Isn't there a way to, monitor them, like they used to do in the old days and stuff like that? You know what his answer was, Philo?
What's that?
Oh, we can't do anything until after a crime's been committed.
Exactly. And so that blows out of the water. Remember the old one, the old saying, police protect and serve?
Yeah.
They serve, but they're not there to protect you. They can't do anything until there's been an assault or a crime.
Well, Terry, we've been around for so long. How many drug investigations have we seen go on for a long time?
Oh, several.
Yeah. Whether it be something as innocuous as weed, going all the way up to heroin. They monitored heroin dealers up, come on. And so that was his answer. Oh, we got to wait till the crime's been committed. Oh, really? Really? Is that the way that the new drug task force works now?
But Boyd, you better be wearing your mask, because if you don't, we'll be all over you.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, mister, there ain't no room in the jail cells because they're filling up with non-compliant people who won't wear their ritualistic shame diaper muzzle.
Yeah, and they have to let the criminals out so they don't catch the virus.
Yeah.
But they have to arrest those who don't want to wear a mask.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
What a bunch of snowflakes.
Yeah, and for this disease, this so-called disease, okay, where we now have something like a 99.7% survival rate for anyone under 80 or whatever. And I asked I got the governor about that one. He had no sense of humor when I asked him at the last news conference on Friday. I said, Governor, why the memorials for these people? I mean, I know every death counts and whatever, but, I mean, is it because they were cut down in the prime of their life at 84 and 91 years old? Went right over his head, Terry.
Oh, I'm not surprised. If it didn't stop at his nose, it's not going to stick.
Yeah. We're talking, some people call him old pickle nose. That honker's getting bigger and bigger.
I wouldn't know who that was.
And even the CDC admits that only 6% of the deaths nationwide are caused by COVID only.
Yeah, of course, because the rest of it is just complications.
Yeah, or even a motorcycle accident. You test COVID positive, bang, it's a COVID death.
Speaking of COVID, guess who was playing football last night?
I didn't see who.
Lamar Jackson tested positive 2 weeks ago, and he said he had some flu-like symptoms and he was a little out of it. But here he is 2 weeks later Now, Cam Newton had the same thing.
Yeah.
Last night there's Lamar Jackson. So now if I get the virus, can I go play football professionally and get paid millions of dollars?
Well, if you could play football good, I guess you could get paid millions of dollars. If you can just play football, I don't think you're gonna make the million. So,
Boy, I'll tell you, that's a sport that begs to beat your body to death.
fewer. Oh yeah.
But
Oh,
see how
it-
they're scaring everybody? They're talking, they're so afraid of all these cases, and these guys are recovering. I had Vicky Strong on here Tuesday. Her daughter and her daughter's husband, and I forgot where they live. They both wear their masks, they social distance, they quarantined, they caught the virus anyway.
Oh, and that thing with the church in Albany.
Yeah.
That turned out to be a big nothing burger.
They didn't arrest Clark?
Oh. and of course, being working for state government means never having to say you're sorry.
Exactly.
And never apologizing.
Of course.
Because evidently they made everybody at this church get tested and everything like that. And it turns out that the person who was positive didn't attend church or whatever. And they just, and they sensationalized it, put it in the news, oh, this big thing, Albany, blah, 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 blah. And it turned out to be a nothing burger. There was nobody there positive for anything, except maybe one person, and they didn't attend services or whatever. It was just a damn joke, and they won't apologize for it.
Yeah, and people were saying it's because Vermont is a secular state and they pick on churches. The reason is because Vermont is becoming dumb as whale crap.
Yeah.
That's why. Has nothing to do with being secular or religious. They also said that Vermont has the lowest attendance of any state. Well, that's your choice,
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the fact that the state runs all over people and never apologizes when they're wrong because they did it to me.
Oh, man. Yeah, oh, yeah. Trust me, if there's anybody, see, years ago, I won't mention any names, but years ago they had kind of like a witch hunt for anyone and everyone and anyone accused of sexual assault. Which means that anytime you're in a room with a patient or anybody, they could come out and just scream sexual assault, and immediately no matter if they're a drunk, a complete junkie, fall down, stumble bum, whatever, if they come out and they claim whatever, bang, and they ruined a lot of people that way.
I know. Yep. And you know what? It's almost like Vermont is looking for sex offenders. They don't have enough real ones. They have to try to invent them. And I saw this happen twice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, you know why? Because it keeps people in work.
Yeah, of course. Why do you
sure.
think the CDC is in business? Is because they hold patents on 20 vaccines.
Yeah, there's no conflict of interest there, Philo.
And they sell $4.6 billion worth of vaccines every year.
Oh, it's more than that.
The figure I got was 4.6 billion.
I've read as high as 30 billion for the whole industry.
Oh, well, yeah, but I'm just talking about just them alone.
Yeah, the CDC, yeah. It's nuts.
Now, if we don't have diseases, we can't sell them vaccines.
Oh, no. And speaking of which, I don't know if you've been seeing these commercials, but camera 2, por favor.
Oh, all right, get a new one, okay.
Men, are you starting to look like this as you get older? You might have pepperoni's disease. And we have a cure for it now. And it's not that difficult. For the cure for pepperoni's disease is we load you up full of Niagara so that you're in a state of constant erection, like you were in 8th grade when the hottest girl in school was sitting in front of you and you had to walk around the hallways bent over. Well, that's what it's like now. So we load you up with Niagara, and then we put your pepperoni in a cast, and after a couple months, you should come out straight as an arrow.
Actually, isn't that called Peyronie's disease?
I can't mention any names on TV.
Yeah, I think that's what that's what it's called,
Everything's a disease now, Philo.
or a syndrome.
They've got dry eye disease now.
Goodness gracious.
Dry eye disease? Really? Mm-hmm. I thought I used to get that from riding my motorcycle.
Well, yeah, probably you did.
Oh yeah, I was going like a bat out of hell. Wind blowing through my eyes and my ears like I was a blonde. Anyways, oh yeah. So anyways, fewer than 10,000 deaths from COVID. The other 94% had one or more comorbidities, and most of them have been in nursing homes. There have been like 0 deaths under 20 years old, and yet they're making kids wear masks in school.
Of course. We have to have conformity here.
Oh yeah.
Conformity.
And the New York Times even came out and admitted that China lied to us, Philo. I sent you an email about that.
You're kidding. China lied to us?
Yeah, I mean, Trump said, look, Trump called it the China virus, and they said, you're a racist, even though every other virus has been named after the place where it was found. Ebola, Marburg, MERS, SARS, well, not so much MERS and SARS, but all the other viruses were, and he comes out and he calls it the China virus, and we still don't know. This is the only virus we have where 9 months later, we still don't know whether it jumped to an animal or not. And we knew that with every other virus, we knew that within a month or more, Philo.
Yeah, like the bird flu and the swine flu.
Yeah, oh, exactly.
And then remember there was a Hong Kong flu?
Yeah, and the woohoo, now we got the woohoo flu.
Yeah, the Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah, and these jokers come out, you're a racist for mentioning it. And now, 6 months later, they come out and they're all like, well, we're not going to say that Trump was right, but the Chinese have been lying and they've been using the World Health Organization as a front. And so what does Joe Bite Me want to do? Joe Bite Me wants to join right back up into the WHO and shovel more money at him, Philo.
Yeah, even the WHO, though, is sort of parting ways with the CDC, which I think is a good thing.
Oh, man.
Anytime you part ways with the CDC, that's a good thing.
Yeah. Oh, God. And speaking of which, here was another thing, too. You talk about the way that people get treated. And, look, I know Trump's a blowhard. I met the man personally. He seemed like a real nice guy. I met him in New York, in the late 80s, early 90s. I was walking around Central Park North with my wife, and he was in front of the tower waiting for a limo, and we stopped and shot the breeze with him, and he seemed like a real nice guy. I'm sorry, but the treatment, 98% of the articles about him or his policies have been negative. And I remember a couple of years ago, he's made a couple mistakes, sure. He's never been to Yosemite Park, evidently, because he called it Yosemite.
Yosemite Sam?
Yeah, Yosemite Sam.
Whoa, whoa.
I'll blast that varmint.
Long-eared galoot.
Yeah, exactly.
I used to love that, didn't you?
Oh, man, yeah.
Them and the Roadrunner.
All the Warner Brothers.
Funny.
They were great. Chuck Jones was a friggin' genius. He lived in Santa Fe. I was out there one time, and I could have bought one of those cells, with his signature on it.
Yeah.
For like a couple $300, and I kicked myself in the ass for not buying one. He lived right down the road in Santa Fe. I brought some antiques out there to sell one time. Anyways, so a few years ago, Trump had mentioned 2 Corinthians instead of 2 Corinthians, okay? Because he's not like a Bible fanatic, although the evangelicals do like him because, let's face it, when you hire a bodyguard, you don't care if the guy's like, a virgin or goes to church every week. You want a bodyguard, okay? So anyways, they went after Trump. 2 Corinthians, ho, ho, ho. Yeah, 2 Corinthians walk into a bar and says, is that your dog? Anyways. So they just wouldn't drop it, this 2 Corinthians crap, right?
Oh, and what do the evangelicals say about that?
Oh, they just kind of shined it and said, oh, well, we got to school this boy, I guess. So anyways, last week, Joe Bite Me comes out, the office of the president-elect, which there is no such thing. He just created it out of thin air.
Oh, of course.
And hopefully the Supreme Court will go after this equal protection case that's coming out of Texas. They're going to hear it by Thursday, something like that. Thursday, tomorrow, Friday. Because let's face it, this election was stolen. You cannot, I'm telling you, this is the dirtiest, most rottenest election. It was stolen. There's no way they generated enough enthusiasm by hiding this old corrupt, the most corrupt, he was more corrupt than Hillary. He was in the candidate witness protection program in his basement all summer. They gave him questions that were so softball, it gave softballs a bad name. So last week he comes out and he was reading segments from the Bible, Philo, and he was talking about the palmists. He's going to read from Psalms 131 or Psalms 42. And nobody nudged him and said, like, hey, psst, it's Psalms. You know, the S is silent, you know? It's Psalms, stupid. It's not Palms. Anyways, did the press make fun of him? Did Saturday Night Live make fun of him? Oh, hell no, it was radio silence. Joe Bite Me, reading from Palms. Yeah, that noted part of the Bible where we get...
Palm readers.
Yeah. Yeah, you get a long lifeline there, Joe.
You might as well do that.
Yeah, Mr. Biden, it looks like your lifeline ends about, I don't know, maybe December or January, something like that.
You know who that reminds us of right here in the station?
Who's that?
We have somebody who does Bible sort of readings.
I heard that, yeah.
And he's always talking about zealots.
About what?
Zealots. Not a zealot, but a zealot. And he says it every time he reads that word. Zealot.
No way.
And I've told him it's not zealot, it's zealot. I'm sorry, are you doing yourself an injury over there?
Zealots would mean there was an E after the O. The E is before the O.
Yeah, sometimes it's zealots, sometimes it's zealots.
I guess it's like see-a-lot then.
Yeah, oh well. Anyways, I just thought I would inject that.
Jeez Louise, man.
And he's been doing this since 2005.
Oh, God. I thought I was here for a long time, since '09. Man.
You have the second longest running show.
Oh, good grief, man. Yeah, so anyways, I asked the good doctor about the cycle threshold. Oh, and thank goodness, too. Philo, somebody had contacted the station. And a lot of people contact me, and it's nice that the station relays the information because most of the people are really great people. There's only been a few moonbats over the years, but I don't care about them. I'm well armed, you know what I mean? You want to mess with me, you want to mess with the old rattlesnake, do it at your own risk, okay? But most of the people are really cool. So Philo puts me in touch with this guy, Pete Garitano. And he's been, he's a font of knowledge about this PCR method.
Cool dude, isn't he?
Oh, geez, yeah. Nice guy. And so Philo had scheduled him for his show, Dial It Up. But I asked Todd about maybe setting up a Zoom meeting because I wanted to get this info about the PCR thing out as soon as possible. Because... And what do I see? I'm channel surfing last night, Philo, after all this stuff, and I asked Dr. Levine about the cycle threshold. What are we doing? I said, if we're using, I actually used Peter's numbers because I didn't know the exponentials. If you remember your math classes, boys and girls, right? Exponentials means, so it's something that grows, like compound interest.
Yeah.
It just grows tremendously bigger. Every time for every factor, you know what I mean? Well, here's the thing. Even Dr. Fauci, the PCR thing, it's a method. A PCR is a method of duplicating whatever you put in it, okay? Whether it's skin cells or DNA or whatever, the PCR method duplicates and it's like a farm, okay? That's the easiest way to think of it. It is a subatomic or whatever farm. So it's not a test. Even the guy who invented it, and you can find him at carrybanksmullis.com. I'm going to say this once just for you people out there in case you have a DVR and you want to stop it. KARYBANKSMULLIS.com. Even he, the inventor, Carey Banks Mullis, he even said it is not meant to diagnose any disease, okay? The inventor said that. So what are they doing? Oh, we're calling it a PCR test. And what happens is you can take a piece of a sample, and it will take a piece of the virus, and if you multiply it or magnify it, okay, say 30 cycles, that's a pretty good number to stop at, because at 30 cycles, then you can tell, well, yes, this is probably live virus, and yes, this person probably does have the COVID virus, all right? Well, no, shit, I'm sorry, Philo, I didn't send it to you. He sent me, the spokesperson for the Department of Health sent me what the labs were using, because I asked him, what are the labs using for a cycle threshold? Because if you're using, say, 30, and even the vaunted Saint Fauci, Saint Anthony Fauci, even Dr. Fauci said something like, anything over 30 cycles is useless. And what did Levine say about that? Oh, I don't think he said that. I don't think so.
Go to the tape.
Yeah, really.
Go to the tape.
Roll the video.
Even professional sports had to go to replays.
Yeah.
For gosh sakes, come on, guys.
That's what I need. I need a good editor because I'm not real good with computers. Roll the video, okay, because you can't say tape anymore. It shows your age.
No, it doesn't matter. They get the idea, you know.
Yeah, especially the old geezers like us.
Yeah.
So
the beard's getting grayer by the day.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, man, and I'm so glad after December 7th those Medicaid commercials are over. Oh, you can get free meals and they'll deliver hookers to your door and
hey, they didn't tell me that.
Free rides to and from, free drugs, and they'll put money back in your Social Security account. And then it shows some old biddy saying, I'm so glad I called this 800 number and I've been getting free gigolos for the past month. I thank God the window's shut after December 7th, it's over. Oh, anyway, so I asked him. I said, look, if we're using, if we use 40, it equals like $1 trillion. If we use 30, it equals like $1 million. And I said, if we don't have any standards and you're using in the labs that you are subcontracting with, you're sending your test results to these labs in Mass at UVM or whatever, if they're using a cycle threshold number that high, or 40 or something like that, 35, 40, I said, what we're doing is we're catching minnows and reporting them as whales, okay? Mm-hmm. Oh, he didn't like that analogy, Philo.
Didn't at first, he didn't even know what the cycles were?
Oh, he didn't. He couldn't tell me yesterday. Didn't even know. Didn't even know, or he didn't want to say, Philo.
I'll have to look that up.
Well, yeah, I'll have to check it on YouTube. But anyways, afterwards, his spokesman, Ben Truman, not related to Harry, I don't think.
I don't think so.
Which was one of the last honest presidents we've had, not in our lifetime. Maybe Philo's. Were you born when Truman, or was it Ike?
Yes, I was born in 51, so Truman was on his way out.
Yeah, all right. So it was one of the few honest presidents we've had in Philo's lifetime. Oh, boy. And did half the country hate Harry Truman, mister? You talk about a divided country. Do you know that the Democrats hated Truman so bad, Philo, they wouldn't give him a penny for his 1948 re-election fund?
He won it anyway, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, yeah. And they split the race up 4 ways. It was a 4-way race. It was Harry Truman versus Strom Thurmond and the Dixiecrats, you know, them Democrat racists that used to stand in the doorway and not let black kids into schools and stuff, those guys.
Yep, I remember them.
It was Harry Truman, Strom Thurmond, and Henry Wallace, a certified socialist / communist. I mean, he was VP under Roosevelt the second time. And even the party said, whoa, 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 this guy's bad. I mean, he was a genius. He spoke fluent Russian and a couple other languages, but he was cracked, man. He said he used to commune with Indian spirits and stuff.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I think it might have been Satan.
It might have been the bad drugs, too.
Yeah, whatever. And then he went on a tour to Russia, Philo, and he goes to see this commune or work farm in Siberia, right? So they know he's coming, so they take down the barbed wire and the guard towers, put new clothes on everybody, and Henry Wallace comes back and says, oh, it was great, everybody loved their work, and they were all happy. It was like Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs, you know, whistle while you work. Oh, yeah. And as soon as Wallace left, bang, up go the guard towers and the barbed wire again at the gulags. So it was Truman, Strom Thurmond, Henry Wallace, and that idiot Republican Dewey. I mean, there are few people, I mean, face it, first of all, nobody's going to be elected president with a mustache. I don't know what it is. It hasn't happened since the
Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah, since TR, yeah.
Teddy Roosevelt was the last one that I remember.
Yeah.
I wasn't alive for him, by the way.
He was the first one to have a Negro over for dinner at the White House. They never let him forget that one, mister.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so I think that has something to do with women being able to vote, Philo.
Could be.
Yeah.
Did you know that the state of Utah and the Mormons had to take the right to vote away from women to get statehood? The Mormons had granted that to their women way before we did.
Wow. That I did not know.
Yes, it's amazing.
Yeah, considering the way they treat them otherwise.
Yeah. Oh, well. Who knows?
So it was in a 4-way race. The Democratic Party hated Harry Truman. The Republicans hated Harry Truman. Wall Street hated Harry Truman. The press had a field day with Truman and his wife, Bess. First week when Truman comes into office, they have a ladies sit down with the first lady in the White House, right? And they says to her, to Mrs. Truman, I said, now that you're the first lady, she says, when will you be holding press conferences? She says, this will be my last one. And they're all like, what? Eleanor Roosevelt used to meet with us twice a week or something. And Bess Truman's all like, no, my husband's the president. You want to deal with him? Deal with him. I don't want to, no press conferences for me. So everybody and their brother-in-law hated Harry Truman, except for the common people, because they knew he was honest and he couldn't be bought off, okay? And then along come Kennedy. He had his own money, and he wanted to change things. JFK, look what happened to him.
Yes, and the conspiracy theory about Lyndon Johnson and the warmongers offing him because he wanted to get out of Vietnam. I won't say it's true, but it makes more sense.
Oh, that and the international bankers, because he wanted to go back to greenbacks, treasury notes. Because see what happens, boys and girls, is when you have Federal Reserve notes, which is a private banking cartel, it's neither federal nor has any reserves. When you have a Federal Reserve note, you are lending money into existence, okay? When you create a U.S. Treasury note, or a greenbacks like Lincoln did during the Civil War, who also they killed, and when you have a Treasury note, you spend money into existence, okay? You don't owe anybody anything. So that's the difference. So anyways, JFK wanted to go back to Treasury notes, and they said, nope, that was it. And then when he gets shot, they took Abraham Zapruder's film, who actually got the headshot right when Kennedy was driving by, the owner of Time Life magazine, who happened to be best friends with the Dulles brothers, who was head of State Department and head of the CIA. He bought the Zapruder film, and we didn't see it for over 10 years. I think we finally got to see it on the Geraldo show, Philo.
Oh, yeah. He did one thing right.
Yeah, and then after we see it, as any hunter or shooter knows, you can see the headshot where his head snaps back, meaning he was shot from the front also. The government tried to tell us that, who you gonna believe, us or your lying eyes in physics? You gotta believe us, right?
Well, I didn't know much about it until they came out with that weapon that supposedly he used.
Oh, the Carcano.
You kidding? You couldn't hit the side of a barn at 10 feet with that thing.
The Mannlicher Carcano.
What do you think the Italians got beat so bad?
And they didn't even have any fingerprints on it until after Oswald gets shot, and then miraculously there's a palm print on it. Unbelievable how that happened.
I almost believe that.
Oh, sure. So then they got rid of that honest guy. Then his brother, who was Attorney General, see, now this is what Trump should have done. When JFK got in, he kicked out everybody and got people in he could trust, like Bobby as Attorney General, his brother.
I always liked him.
Oh, yeah. So did half the country, too. That's why they whacked him.
And I like his kid, too.
He's
Robert
good.
Kennedy Jr.?
He's wicked good. He's the premier vaccine guy. And anyways, so they got rid of him and MLK and JFK, and that was it. And then we get another honest president in Jimmy Carter. Oh, mister. Boy, they didn't like him. The press didn't like him. Oh, the Democrats hated him. The Republicans hated him. They got rid of Carter after one term. And so then again, like JFK, we got another rich guy who funds his own way into the White House and says, look, I don't need their money, whatever. And they've been investigating him for years, and the Russian, and all this crap that they threw at him, none of it stuck. And then you're telling me that 75 million people come out and vote for this guy, and the geezer wins because of a corrupt few cities where they're showing, you should see the video where they're handing off thumb drives, Philo, and taking votes out of boxes that were hidden under a table. I mean, it's dirty. I hope the Supreme Court stops it, because you know what happens, boys and girls? It says, we'll have a constitutional crisis. No, the Constitution allows for this. What they'll do, Philo, is they will take 2 electors from each state, which will be sent by each state's legislature, right?
Yeah.
They will take 2 electors selected by each state legislature, and they will come and they will vote for a president. That's the way the Constitution allows for it. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. The good doctor yesterday. So I get the numbers, and from the numbers I can guess with the PCR thing, back to the PCR thing, forgive me. I keep going in circles here, like Mac chasing his tail.
He's not doing much of that right now.
No, he's dead.
Dead to the world. Look at him.
Yeah.
And he's hiding. You can't see him.
No, he's invisible.
According to him, you can't see him.
I should have brought the puppy in. Now that'd be fun to watch. Oh, I'm telling you, mister, that thing, every day, Philo, I pray for puppy patience. You know what I mean? You try and put on some socks. She takes the socks and runs with them. You try and put on your shoes. She'll take the shoes and run with them. It's hysterical. It's funny. You know what I mean? But I pray for patience. You know what she did the other day to me, Philo?
What's that?
Now, mind you, I have this puppy, and I've raised a lot of dogs over the years. Jack Russells, I've had Dobermans, I've had German Shepherds. I had a pit bull, or rather, I've trained all kinds of dogs, okay? And so I know what I'm doing, and I have I have bones, I have chewy toys, I have balls to chase, I have everything that a dog could want to chew on. And when my back was turned and I was on the computer, what does she get a hold of? A picture of my brother's 6th grade class that they all got gussied up for, and in school. Tore it to smithereens, Philo.
Wow.
The only picture I had, and it was from like 1955 or something like that. And boy, she got to see Angry Daddy that day. It changed her whole attitude. Because you don't want to see Angry Daddy. No, you do not want to see Angry Daddy. Oh, and speaking of which, Chuck Yeager died. You see that one, Philo?
Yeah, I did see that.
Oh, and another thing, Joe Bite Me comes out. He's going to announce Javier Becerra, this corrupt guy from California, as his head of health, education, and welfare, Philo.
Oh, imagine that.
Well, imagine that. It hasn't been called health, education, and welfare since Nixon was in office, right?
Goodness.
It's called HUD now, isn't it?
Something like that. Housing and Urban Development.
Yeah. And you think the reporters called him on that?
HUD, they've been calling HUD that for, gosh, I remember hearing HUD way back in the 60s even.
Yeah, it's got to be the Johnson, maybe, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't remember.
But Joe Biden blew it and called it health and welfare, or education.
Hugh.
And then he mispronounced his name. Instead of Becerra, he's Maria. But that never made the evening news. Didn't make the papers either.
If it's not about COVID or Trump, forget it. You're not going to hear it.
Unbelievable. And you know that Chuck Yeager never went to college, Philo?
Didn't know that.
Yeah. Born in tiny Myra, West Virginia in 1923.
Oh my gosh.
He was a fighter pilot in World War II, credited with shooting down at least a dozen enemy aircraft, including more than 4 planes twice in one day, October 12th and November 27th in 44. I'll tell you what, it was a lot easier being in the Army Air Corps in 44 than it was in 43. It wasn't as easy as it was in 1945, like when they had the Tuskegee Airmen. Yep. They let them in at the very end of the war when the Luftwaffe was half dead. I'm sorry, but it's the truth, boys and girls. He was shot down over German-held France, but escaped with help of French partisans. Oui. What a hot ticket, huh? After the war, he became a test pilot at Wright-Patterson in Dayton, Ohio. That's where they have the alien bodies, Philo. They're in Area 51.
I thought they were in Cleveland.
Where?
Cleveland.
Cleveland, yeah.
But now the Browns have got a decent team, so the people are coming alive again.
Oh, man, yeah. It just kills me to listen to the fake audience noise. That just kills me.
Yeah, the NFL, I could do a whole spiel on them, but I still say I can predict who's going to win every game, every week. The team with the best drugs.
Yeah.
Especially steroids. Please continue.
National Felons League.
Yeah.
He broke numerous records for speed and turning to fly and Vietnam. He retired in 1975. He broke the sound barrier on October 14th, 1947, while flying over the Mojave Desert. And if you look at that X-1 aircraft, they lifted that thing. It looks like a 55-gallon drum with a couple of wings sticking out of it, right?
Probably was.
Oh, I'm telling you, it does not even look like an airplane. And his arm was so screwed up, he like almost broke his shoulder or dislocated his shoulder the night before in some bar accident. He was quite the drinker, Philo.
Oh, I fancy that, yeah.
And yeah, like all the flight jockeys. That's why there were so many airline crashes in the 70s. Then they changed the hours, the bottle to throttle hours. So anyways, he had somebody at the Air Force Base make him a stick so he could like hold the door shut with his without using his gimpy arm. So they dropped it from a B-29 at 25,000 feet. It went up to 40,000 feet, went over 662 miles an hour. He said, "Sure, I was apprehensive," he said in 1968. "When you're fooling around with something you don't know much about, there's a lot to be apprehensive, but you don't let it affect your job." And he said, "Living to a ripe old age is not an end in itself. The trick is to enjoy the years remaining." He says, "Yet I haven't done anything by the time I'm finished. If I auger in tomorrow, it won't be with a frown on my face. I've had a ball." Auger in meaning like a tailspin into the ground. It's flight. The Silver Star, Distinguished Flying Cross, Bronze Star, Air Medal, Purple Heart. Harry Truman awarded him the Collier Air Trophy in December '48 for breaking the sound barrier. Yeah, quite the unit, Chuck Yeager. But you know what? You're just another old white guy, Philo.
Yeah, we can't have too many of them around here.
Nope. Oh, hell no.
But they make good presidents, don't they?
Oh, yeah, you think? Oh, and now bite me with this cabinet. And they said that the diversity, and they want, get this, listen to who they've got here. Becerra and the rest of the team unveiled Thursday. He's the president. Bite me is under pressure to ensure his cabinet is diverse, not diverse in thought, or or poor kids who made it on their own, or engineers, or people who no. I mean skin color. The opposite of what Martin Luther King said we should aspire to.
Yep.
Bite Me and Camelback Harris are also set up to meet with a number of civil rights groups, including the NAACP, which is the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. And so, boy, we couldn't call people colored. We couldn't call them colored. Now they're doing it again. I guess it goes in and out of fashion. And the National Action Network. And you know who the National Action Network is run by, Philo?
I can't even imagine.
He's a reverend. Take a guess.
Well, it isn't Billy Graham.
Or Joel Osteen.
Yeah, that was going to be my second choice.
Oh, no. Al Sharpton.
Oh, that's it. Your show's over. I'm canceling everything.
The guy who doesn't pay his taxes.
The guy who can't even speak correctly.
You think? And then there's a call organized by the Asian Pacific American Caucus. The Asian American Democrats had pressed to expand the number of Asian descent in leadership posts. And then there's the Hispanic Caucus, who are pushing for more Latino representation. It's just nuts, man. It's not the content of the character, but the color of your skin. Oh, I got this great Dilbert. I saved it for you. You got to see that one. It's about 5G. I think Todd would like it too. Where to find free Wi-Fi in Chittenden County. Oh, great. They found the oldest Jewish cemetery in Vermont, Philo.
Imagine that.
You know where it is?
Where's that?
Hoi! It's in East Pulteney.
Okay. That's
Yeah, it
down
looks
near
like-
Rutland.
Yeah,
It?
yeah. It looks like they came over, a bunch of Germans German Jews, came over to the Slate Valley and after the Civil War in 1868. And it's the oldest Jewish cemetery. And this kid, Nathaniel Crispy, he's been rehabbing the cemetery. God
Okay,
bless him, huh?
Last but not least.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You're up almost to 55 minutes.
Holy. Oh, we gotta put it saying we got the most corrupt thing in Americans. Oh, here we are. Oh, illness is blamed on microwave radiation. But you know what? It's all perfectly safe, boys and girls. Cell phones, microwave ovens, it's all perfectly safe. It seems that a new report by the National Academy of Sciences found that directed microwave radiation is the likely cause of illness among diplomats in Cuba and China. A study of personnel, and it didn't name the source of the energy, or it did say a result of an attack or the type of injury. But they found it at the Guangzhou, China in 2017. Nothing but not like beaming microwaves at people to confuse them. And they wonder why everybody's confused now, right, Philo?
Exactly.
And they're all carrying phones in their pocket. Well, once again, you've wasted a perfectly good hour. Hey, wake up, Sleepy. You want to exit the show with me? Once again, you wasted a perfectly good hour of your life watching this stupid show. And hopefully, we'll see you again next week, inshallah. Good Lord willing, the creek don't rise. So until then, get down on your hands and knees in the men-only mosque, sniff the bum of the guy in the man dressed next to you, and head east and go, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Nabi. Okay, sir.
Deus Magnus Est.